right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 of IG versus eHome. It is a best of 2 series, or a 2-game series if you really want to get crazy about the linguistics. The fact of the matter is, though, this is the second of 2 games for this series here. IG took game number 1, a little bit of a sloppy mid-game there from IG, but they did pull out a win nonetheless. Fairly impressive showing over eHome, taking slightly better coordinated team fights and finding themselves with a victory screen waiting for them at the end. So coming into game 2, what are we looking at here? Bat Rider, Queen of Pain, the first 2 bans from Invictus Gaming, eHome. They ban out the Troll as well as the Sniper. Exact same bans from eHome once again, and IG switching it up a little bit. That opens up for IG to go first pick Wisp. Interesting stuff here. You see IG play Wisp every so often, but a hero that does make it through a little more often out here in the East than it does over in the West. I think in Europe, pretty much insta-ban on the Wisp. Out here in China, things are a little bit different. I am curious to see what IG have in mind here to pair with old Wispy. They will pick up the Ancient Apparition early again. IG doing this a little different. Looks like Faith maybe experimenting a little bit. This could be a good time to do it. They will be participating in Star Ladder coming up in Romania here just around the corner. So, hey, this is the time to try something different, try some new drafts in a best of 2 series in iLeague where there's not quite as much on the line than at a LAN final. So they'll go with a double support opener here. eHome, well, they grab the Shadow Fiend again. That's probably your in-flame hero for the second time again. And Lion, well, just a solid support. A bit of a deny pick there from Chuan, as we talked about in the last game. Chuan will absolutely play that Lion, and they will pick it up early on. They have been known to first pick that Lion over the Wisp pretty frequently, but here they're doing it different. So next round of bans, Broodmother as well as the Witch Doctor, banned out here by IG. Broodmother, no surprise, hard to deal with, especially with a support opener like this. Then you got the Witch Doctor, the Coconut, notoriously strong against Wisp and his Tether buddy. As, well, they're usually right next to each other, and that cask is just bouncing back and forth, up and down, all around.
Reserve time.
Tiny, the third ban for eHome, thinking about other pairings that they may not want to deal with. Chaos Knight, one that could be an option. A lot of heroes you can pair the Wisp with. You could even do like a safe lane Storm Spirit and put him with the Wisp. That's pretty damn good. CK, okay. There is a Lion who tends to be pretty good against illusions in general with Hex and Mana Drain, but still is a very scary Wisp partner. This is a tricky ban here from eHome. So open-ended for IG. They could grab a Gyrocopter. They could also just, you know, grab whatever they're really comfortable with. I think Juggernaut is probably the big ban you look at here. Partially because Jug is just so deep into the comfort zone of burning. We've seen them even first or second pick Jug, even post nerfs. That's got to be a go-to here. Man, eHome just banning out all cores. These scary carry heroes that you just don't want to go up against, especially when there's a Wisp backing them up. I really feel like this has to be the Jug. And okay, they ban out the Chaos Knight, and they take the Storm. So now Jug is open for IG. But I do like this, banning out the CK. I know there's people that are, why? And he's so good against illusions, but it's not the end-all be-all. CK can still clown on that Lion. As we've seen, Chaos Knight, although not picked often, is still a very potent hero on this patch. So Storm Spirit, the third pick. And now Axe for IG. So probably your Luo hero here. I think Axe will be headed to the off lane. Getting some control for the Storm Spirit. Great initiator, though, to try and deal with the Shadow Fiend. Can be really good against the Storm as well if you can catch him with Berserker's Call. Pretty good game for the Storm Spirit, though. Ancient Apparition and Wisp. No, just natural hard stuns. No Lion-esque support for IG. So I think a pretty good game for it. And there's your second support. So they will take that Earthshaker Shadow Fiend combo again. on the side of eHome. We saw not really how potent it can be last game, but still a very potent duo, though it didn't quite come to fruition in the last matchup. Just need that babysitter for the Shadow Fiend to make sure his mid lane is pretty solid. And this is a matchup where you're probably going to need it. Depending on what IG grab here, they very well could go Wisp +1 in the mid lane. If it's Wisp Tiny, it's kind of that classic to go mid. If it's the Juggernaut, you could always just put him safe lane.
5 seconds remaining.
Put the Wisp next to him there, let him stack in the jungle a little bit. IG have a lot of options here in terms of how they want to set up these lanes. Still a very open-ended draft. I still think the Juggernaut has to be on the short list here for IG. Burning just hasn't been playing that many heroes on this patch. Phantom Lancer, another option. We don't see Wisp Phantom Lancer that often, but certainly a possibility. Last time they ran Wisp, it was a Wisp Tiny for IG. So with that out of the pool, limiting some of their comfort options. They have run this Ancient Apparition Luna combo a lot. Wisp Luna, another one. You don't really see that often. It's the Sven. Oh, man. Yes. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, so Sven is one of those heroes that you toss out when you see a Wisp picked up. Well, it could always be a Sven. I always think of Loda comes to mind. Loda EGM. I remember seeing Alliance do this maybe a month back, 2 months back with their Wisp Sven. It's pretty good. Sven, one of those heroes that can absolutely turbo farm, especially if you go for more of a great cleave kind of based build. If you're a little more passive early on, you really only need that value point in Stormhammer. We've seen some players go for that second point being kind of the value just to get that extra damage, but you can just pop in some points in that Warcry and cleave, and man, oh man, you can farm fast. And with a Wisp backing him up, kind of reminds me of CK a little bit, just clearing out stacks in the jungle, and then, hey, you got that taxi service to take you to the other side of the map, maybe find a kill, pop your God Strength, click, 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 get a kill, head back to farming and turbo farm from there. So, a fun pick. The Rogue Knight can get really out of control, really just needs like Mask of Madness, BKB, Blink Dagger, and your Sven is doing serious, serious damage. And you can get away with a build like that. Again, if they go for this more farming-based build with the Great Cleave plus Mask of Madness, the farming potential is actually ridiculous. So, what does IG take here for 430? His Storm Spirit has been taken. Queen of Pain has been banned out. Timbersaw will be the final pick here for eHome. Good against the Strength Core lineup they've got against Sven Nax. I like that here, but a hero that has a lot of weaknesses on this patch. Does require a fair bit of farm, and he's just a little bit too squishy. He can't really just hop in to do that big damage. Someone like Axe, Sven, they'll be able to turn and just chunk down this Timbersaw. I think the thought process is good from ROTK. He's good against strength heroes, but very weak against stuns and disables.
Reserve time.
I don't know. I guess this final pick will kind of let us know how this Timbersaw pick could work out. Viper, decent ban from eHome. Not really a classic 430 hero.
10 seconds remaining.
His options very limited here. And he'll go TA. Oh, God. How did I not think about the TA? This is a scary IG lineup, if I don't say so myself. This is lacking on control a little bit. This Storm could kind of just ball and get just insane from their lack of stuns early on. But, man, there is a lot of damage output here. You've got your minus armor from TA on the Meld Strike. They are dire side, mind you, so great Roche control. You've got vision from the traps. You've got burning, who can do huge physical damage from the Sven. Then you've got the cleave damage, which is that special type not mitigated by armor. Then you got Axe in there. Ooh, man, I like this. I like it. I like this draft from IG. eHome, I think the ease of execution... I'm actually not sure who has the ease of execution here. Sven can be a little hard to execute with, but this eHome lineup is... It just feels a little funky to me. I can't quite put my finger on it. I think it's just that Timbersaw pick that's the big question mark. And I feel like if that Timbersaw does well, eHome can use that momentum. I guess what I'm trying to say is not being very articulate is eHome need the momentum. They're a lot more momentum based. Storm Spirit will be their safe lane farmer. Looks like Yang will pick him up this time. So this Storm has to get a good start here. He really needs to find good farm. If he goes for Orchid first item, pump it out quick. It looks like he may just rush a Bloodstone, though. Grabs that Soul Wing recipe out of the gate as he heads to the safe lane. Lamb, he'll be on the Earth Shaker. They will put the Shadow Fiend mid. That'll be in flame. Their stand-in will take the Lion, and then it will be ROTK to take the Timbersaw to the off-lane. Timbersaw, another very momentum-based hero. If he gets that early momentum, it's great. If not, kind of falls apart. That Ice 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 Pro gear. We'll see if ROTK can live up to the hype. Dire side, what do we got here? Invictus Gaming, the team up 1-0. It will be Luo. Looks like he'll be a safe lane farming Axe solo. 4:30, he'll take the TA mid, and that opens up for an aggro try with Burning on the Rogue Knight Sven. Faith, he'll take the Ancient Apparition, and that puts Chuan on the Wisp. Aggro try lane. IG, boy, are they ready to fight. Look at this Sven, man. This guy is tricked out. Genuine, the Rogue Helm. God, the Fear Pro set here. Look at this. Man, that is a badass weapon. The Fear Maker. Huh. That is badass. Well, it looks like Luo taking some damage up top from a series of raises. Top rune will be secured by eHome.
The battle begins.
And Chuan will grab the bottom rune here, and that'll put him in bottle territory. There you go. That's the value town for the Wisp. And he'll have a bottle coming on out. Okay, so aggro try with Ancient Apparition Wisp. The nature of the bounty rune does make this a little bit more viable. Wisp can just control this rune, keep filling up that bottle, and really give Burning a lot of sustainability. Be able to spam out those Storm Hammers, take a lot of fights. Faith, Chilling Touch, one of your classic tri-lane abilities. And we'll give them a chance for domination here. Already, eHome have to rotate their Lion. He'll be headed down bottom, so it will be a try-on-try. That's going to put ROTK in a bit of a precarious situation here. Axe in any kind of a 1v1 matchup, especially against a melee hero, has a pretty, well, he doesn't match up against ranged heroes, but any 1v1 against a melee, boy, does he match up well. Even against a Timbersaw, who can do pretty good damage if he's near trees. Axe should be able to find decent farm. Now, the one thing ROTK will have going his favor is that Axe is not going to have lane control. His pole camp has been blocked out. There's vision in the jungle, so Luo will be constantly shoving into the tower, and ROTK will find experience out of this lane at the very least. Still might be able to find a decent bit of farm as he's gotten quite a few last hits out of that initial wave. One of the wards from IG taken out. Sentry Battle seem to be favoring eHome at least for now. You take a look at Dire Vision, all of a sudden this off lane gets a lot more difficult when you're completely blind to the support, so you don't know exactly where they're lingering nearby. This is going to be a little bit difficult. Full camp will now be opened up, and here we go. Initiation onto the Storm Spirit. Burning starts things off with a Storm Hammer. Tethered up from Chuan, taking some decent damage in return. Chuan finally gets level 2, gets that overcharge, and now Burning will get regened up a little bit. So a noble first effort, but no kill comes out quite yet. Checking in on the mid lane, how's it going? Pretty even. Looks like Inflame off to a good start though. 6-2 against the 5-1 TA. Oh, 5-5 TA rather. Good news for the Shadow Fiend. He'll get some momentum a little bit earlier than planned, but still pretty even farm fest here. Top lane should also be fairly even farm fest, and this bottom is where the disparity shall happen. The good news is, at least for IG fans out there, is this Storm Spirit is not farming. Yang is not getting much. He is 2-1 right now compared to the 10-7 of Burning. IG are controlling this lane a little bit more effectively. Even though they're not finding kills, Burning is getting a lot of farm. Now picks up his boots and denying quite heavy. They are maintaining pretty good lane control, at least when they can. Pull through will commence, and now these creeps will push under the tower. We're making some awkward creep-equilibrium here, but I think we'll end up favoring IG when it's all said and done. Burning happy to just keep finding farm, at least for now. Luo having a good time against ROTK up here in the top. 18 CS to the 12 of the Timbersaw, so up by about a 50% margin. Great news there. Laning stage seems pretty straightforward, but it's when these rotations start to happen. For IG, this is a big gamble. Chuan and Faith, two very squishy heroes, and if they get picked on, this lane could fall apart. I guess they could try to rotate Luo out, but he won't be able to do much in the off lane. He could just rotate to the jungle. At this point, they've gotten through the hard part, where they've got this backup plan, where Luo can always move to the jungle. Uh-oh, speaking of the devil, rotation from the Timbersaw. Pardon me, rotation from the Earthshaker. Sets up a first blood for the Timbersaw. ROTK. He gets that bonus goal. Right, great rotation there. But still to recover, Axe can always go back to the jungle, and they can just put Burning in the safe lane. So there are ways that IG can adjust these lanes and start to recover if things start to go sour. A good gank, not the biggest of deals though. Certainly still recoverable for the Axe, but as I talked about, Timbersaw, a hero that needs some momentum, and now all of a sudden he's got Arcane Boots. Great start for ROTK. You can always disassemble the Arcane Boots, get into your fast Bloodstone to finish up that Soul Booster, and then sit on Brown Boots and wait for your BOTs. A couple of different angles that you can take this Timbersaw build, but with the First Blood, he'll now have that early start that he needs to get some momentum. Now towards the mid lane, Chuan. Visibility Rune online. We'll tether to 430. Faith is nearby as well. Is this going to be a kill? It will. There you go. Chilling Touch, making it easy. And it will be Chuan that actually gets credit for that one. A little unfortunate. I think they'd rather that kill go to 430. But Chuan will take it. And that'll be Boots on the way for him, it looks like. Come on, Courier. Nope, that'll just be a couple of gauntlets. Looks like he'll have his urn coming out very timely here. And that'll secure 430, his first set of Blades of Attack to move towards his Phase Boots. So meanwhile in the bottom lane, Burning's got enough momentum that he can just kind of hold the lane on his own. It's a 1v2 at the moment, still way out CSing the Storm Spirit. Only level 4. Yang has found his level 5, still no Soul Ring. Finished up that Basilius first. They don't have vision on these supports, and they know that Faith and Chuan could be rotating down here at any moment. Faith does reveal himself. Dire get a ward down in the enemy jungle. In a bit of a different spot. Normally, like this area is a little more standard, but this does give you a slightly different vision and less of a chance that it will get counter-warded. eHome supports just venturing about the map, realizing they can't do much to babysit Yang. Lamb will head towards the mid lane, and Lion will actually rotate up top. Maybe hoping to find a kill onto Luo, but now Luo's moved into the jungle, and when he doesn't have the equilibrium the way he wants with the creeps, he just moves into the jungle and goes back to farming there. We'll see what build he looks towards. Luo could just try to rush a Blink Dagger, could look for a quote-unquote fast Vanguard. Either or could work this game. I think the Vanguard may be a better choice this game, so that he can just move around and feel free to be a bit more aggressive. They're not really going to start to take team fights until Chuan hits level 6 anyhow, so I think the Axe can afford to sit back, farm a little bit longer, get that Vanguard, make farming neutrals that much easier, and get the Blink Dagger more like 13, 14, 15-minute mark rather than that 9 to 11-minute window that you would normally hope for. IG just don't need to start controlling this game that early on. They can do it through farm, and they already are. 40 CS on Burning compared to the 13 of the Storm. This aggro try has been more than victorious, even though they haven't found any kills here. Mid lane turning into a bit of an even slugfest. Inflame ahead by just a couple CS.
Radiant's bottom tower,
but a break even on that front, and up top, the Axe just was so many last hits. 52 CS on Luo right now. So even though Timbersaw is farming nicely in the lane, this Axe is getting so much out of it. Glancing at the net worth lead here, it is about a 2,500 advantage for IG and nearly 1,500 experience. So they've got a pretty good edge coming out of this laning stage, despite it being all tied up 1-1. They may have a go on Burning down bottom. Will Warcry as RTK comes in. Look at the damage. Just stop and look at it. The Timbersaw dropping hammers and whirling death with that pure damage and Timber Chain across, more than enough. A much needed kill on Burning. That will knock him down a few pegs. Now back towards the mid. Fissure from Lamb will help break things up. Ferrari wants to get aggressive here. He is all tethered up.
No.
Overcharged with a refraction online. 4 heroes for eHome into the mid. Lots of rotations here, and they're not going to be able to find any kind of counter initiation. Chuan is hasted up and will just levitate his way down towards the bottom, it looks like. So a sign of life for eHome. So far, ROTK picking up a series of kills here, 1-0 and 1. They may have a go at Ferrari, but he does pick up a haste rune. He will get hexed. Oh no, it's not a haste, it's a bounty. Pardon me, Ferrari, he's going down. Oh my. Inflame, they'll get credit for that one. All right. Gets the bounty, but will cost him his life. 3-1, it's eHome that are striking on back, probably still finding themselves at a deficit from how disastrous that bottom lane started out. But now that these movements are coming about, they will find some momentum around the map, get Inflame some more farm, and ROTK just goes right back to the off lane. Faith trying to farm to his level 6 as Luo moves into the jungle. He does have his Tranquil Boots now, and what's that on the Courier? It's a Blink Dagger. So no Vanguard, but now Luo becoming a serious threat. A 9-minute blink, turbo farming on the red man. Will rendezvous with Chuan, who's got a double damage bottled up. They've got a smoke, and they will try to reveal this blink. by finding a kill. Ferrari in the mid, going in on the Inflame here. Forces out a TP reaction, and not too much worse for wear. Refraction keeps him safe. Checking in on the bottom lane, Storm Spirit finally getting some space to farm back towards the mid. Inflame, he gets jumped on and slam dunked as they smoke on through. Sorry, I missed the middle part of that. Lamb will survive. So the real the Blink Dagger finds a kill. Where's Svenny Sven? Yep, he's back towards the mid lane now. Power Treads looks like Mask of Madness first item for burning. 2 points in the Great Cleave. Going for this well-rounded build, 2-2-2. Luo finds Lamb as they dive the tier 1 tower, hits him with a Berserker's Call. Now Ferrari comes in. He will have a meld strike here. They don't even need it. Another dunk from Luo. Sets up a kill on the Earthshaker, and they will send him to the meat packing plant to turn him into hamburgers. Now Faith on the run, sidesteps the Chakram with a salve on. Nicely played. Just trying to stay away from the trees. But is there anywhere for him to go? Timber Chain across, does some good damage here. ROTK gets the kill. TP up, but not enough from Luo to keep his buddy alive. All right. So just a death on the Ancient Apparition, but still, it is ROTK getting some momentum. And this is the kind of farm that the Timbersaw needed to have a presence in this game. And you look at this net worth chart, and ROTK is starting to become a serious threat. This is one of the first peaks for the Timbersaw, maybe level 10 once he has that maxed out Whirling Death. But he does a lot of damage right now, and IG need to respect that. Need to be very cautious of where this Timbersaw is and how he chooses to initiate. Especially with the Mask of Madness on Sven. This is a quiet time for IG. This is where Burning can turbo farm, but can really only fight if the setup is there. If Luo catches an initiation, he can hop in and follow up with big damage, but Burning's still not really in that. Hey, I'm ready to charge in, guns blazing. They still don't have a relocate on Chuan. He's getting close, but not there quite yet. They need the Ice Blast and relocate to really make this happen. Inflame jumped on again in the mid lane. Luo will miss the dunk, but it just doesn't matter. Still gets the kill on this Axe. 3-1-1, getting a lot of momentum now. We'll tie it up 4-4. Taking a look at the gold graph, IG holding on to a 3K net worth lead, 2K experience. Rotations all over the place. Ferrari farming the off lane, Burning up top. Stun onto ROTK. Will go in with a relocate here. ROTK sent right to the grave as Chuan brings in Luo, fresh off that level 6. The first relocate yields yet another kill. Very nicely done there. This is where IG start to find some momentum. And they start to hit home one of their first peaks as well. Blink Dagger Axe, relocate online, and Sven with some easy initiation power, even using the God Strength there, holding on to that Quelling Blade so he can just chew through this jungle quickly as ever. I reckon Burning will probably want a Blink Dagger next, or a BKB, one or the other. Pick them up kind of interchangeably. It looks like, yep, it'll be that BKB first. Ogre Club coming for Burning as well as Luo. BKBs aplenty for the Dire side. Mech, the item of choice for Inflame. Usually the sign that your Shadow Fiend wants to be a little more combative. Realizing that his team is not going to have a choice here. They're going to have to fight coming up out of this laning stage. At least they have an item to do so. Lion's still not level 6, though. I like the idea for a smoke rotation, but without a finger, this takes this rotation from what would be, hey, you catch one, it's a sure kill, then, hopefully you've got the damage. Burning. Ooh, he's going to be in some trouble. Relocate down for another 10 seconds, and it looks like Burning will fall. They are able to do it without the finger. There you have it, 4-on-1. Smoke rotation yields some success, and that is level 5 on the Lion. Nicely done. I guess with the relocate still on cooldown, it's a pretty safe play. Ferrari and ROTK will square up in the mid lane. ROTK getting a little aggressive here, has a Timber Chain, but Ferrari will pursue one more. Oh, ho, ho, that was a close one. Timbersaw will TP out, but the relocate was used. Luo almost catches him. Meanwhile, in the top lane, tier 1 tower under assault. eHome will put a little bit of pressure into it. And looks like they will be able to claim this tier 1 tower, but not for free. IG, they head into the Roche pit, and they will try to make a trade. You look at Radiant Vision here, completely blind on this section of the map. Right now, Radiant have a lot of good vision in the Dire jungle. One of them just expiring, but a lane ward down as well. Not helping him out inside a road. Ferrari will use that minus armor to their advantage. That's an Aegis the Immortal for him. Drum and Phase Boots, very combative build early on here for the Templar Assassin, and about 2K gold in the bank. Maybe thinking about a Blink Dagger here on Ferrari as well. Him and Luo will clear out the Ancients. And does Ferrari buy it? We'll see. Yep, there's your Blink. So the Blink brothers are in town. That's 2 Blink Daggers now for the Dire team. IG with a little more reach to their initiation. The Storm Spirit still struggling to get his footing in terms of farm. He has recovered pretty well. The tilt to tail end of the pack will look for a pickoff on the face. And this will be a step in the right direction to at least get some farm going his way, but it's going to cost him. Ice Blast connects. That's a 1-for-1. And Axe will get the dunk for the counter kill. Meanwhile, back in the mid, ROTK stunned up, brought down a 1-for-2 across the map. Great trade for the Dire team. Relocate forward, Inflame, channeling the Requiem. It will go off, just does a little bit of tickle damage here. Burning, has a Storm Bolt, goes in for some okay damage. Lamb there with an Echo Slam, but is it enough? It is. Sets up for the kill on Burning. He pays with his life, but now Ferrari chasing down Inflame. Inflame just doesn't have the health full, tries to bring down Chuan, but the Death Requiem, not enough. They trade 1-for-4 around the map, and it's IG getting an eruption of momentum. Even ending a killing spree streak on that Storm Spirit, going the way of Luo. This Axe, very close to his BKB. Again, looking at this graph, it's nothing but IG pulling further and further into the lead. Now about 6,000 net worth, 7,500 experience is their favor. Getting more and more map control, still an Aegis of the Immortal in tow. This Radiant side still hanging in there though. Timbersaw and Storm Spirit, farming okay. Well behind that of the leading cores on the Dire side, but hanging in there. Oh, Yang, he gets jumped on, and man, just goes down in a matter of seconds. You blink and you miss it as Ferrari and Luo just wreaking havoc all over this Radiant side. They were just not ready for this early Blink Dagger on the Axe. At this point, glad he didn't go for the Vanguard first. The 8-minute Blink has just been yielding kill after kill. 4, 1, and 2 on the Axe, who has found very little slowing him down. Faith just farming away on Frost Fingers here. 1,400 gold, looking towards that hand to Midas. Still a little ways off, but doing what Ancient Apparition does best. Staying quiet in the mid-game, chucking out snowballs when appropriate, and looking for that farming tool to secure his team a little bit of a late-game advantage and some progress towards that prized Aghanim Scepter. Now that eHome have invested in this mech, there's sort of an obligation to fight to some degree here. Inflame could have gone for a farming tool, a Midas or a Yule Scepter, and now he's stuck with this clunky mechanism. Not a bad item by any means, but I felt like his hand was almost forced, anticipating that IG would bring the fight to them, and now IG taking a slightly more quiet turn as they go back to farming. Burning, just rotating through the jungle. His BKB coming out pretty soon here, about 1,000 gold away. Just needs that Mithril Hammer, and then the Blink Dagger, I think, will probably be what he looks towards next. There's your BKB up on Luo. Axe with a great timing on that item. Ooh, Ferrari. He is in the danger zone here. He does get scouted out, and this should be a dead Ferrari.
The secret is
Aegis of the Immortal will be deployed here. Can he blink out to safety? I want to say no, and he won't. Okay.
anything from you.
Well, that's unfortunate for Ferrari. 5-on-1, not really too much he could do there. It's actually the old Sentry War that even found him in that tree line. Well, step in the right direction. Whoa, okay, hold that thought as Luo jumps in onto Lamb in the mid lane. Doesn't quite get the spins he was hoping for. Ice Blast flies through, falls a little bit short. But the rest of the cavalry is here. Burning, pops the God's Strength. He's ready to fight. Goes on to ROTK, hits him with a stun. Simber Chain on cooldown, gives him the chop chop. That's a kill there. Faith getting low, gets finished off by Yang. Now Burning, trying to make it back to the tower, taking a lot of damage from Inflame, will feel the Finger of Death to secure the kill. Luo goes in, dunk onto Sven, gets the kill there. It's a 2-for-3 with eHome, finding the edge if you count the TA to get things started. Not over yet though, Luo reinitiates again, brings down the Lion and finds another Culling Blade. An unstoppable streak continues on, blinks forward, doesn't quite find Inflame, who is hasted up. And I don't think you're catching him this time, Luo. That will level things out a little bit more with the kill on the Lion in the end. 13-10 is IG still finding some successful fights. Again, a little sloppy in this mid game. Fighting without their TA, getting a little aggressive. They did lose their Sven, unfortunately. The power of the Lion there. That will delay his BKB by just a little bit. I mean, all IG have to do in a situation like that is wait for their TA to respawn, and those kind of fights get a lot easier. Instead, they get just a little bit aggressive.
Radiant's bottom tower has been denied.
There's your Yule's Scepter on the Shadow Fiend, so Inflame, grabbing a farming tool now, and also getting the Spirit Bomb. Very versatile tool on the Shadow Fiend. Gives you farm, gives you some defensive capabilities, and lets you set up for those big Requiem of Souls on key heroes. Good item all around, no big surprise to see it popping out.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
BKB now up on Sven. And it looks like 430 will have his around the corner also. Now just a recipe away from the third bout of Magic Immunity. Bloodstone on ROTK. Having a pretty good game on the Timbersaw, but we saw in that last fight why Timber struggles a little bit in this meta. You're sort of forced into a BKB almost, where you're just so susceptible to these stuns. You may have to go BKB next item. Could look for a Shiva's Guard. BOT's always a good choice on the Timbersaw.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
eHome all grouped up in their jungle. Thought they may be looking for a smoke, but they are
fallen.
lacking at the moment. They hand over a free tier 1 tower in the top. Burning will get the last hit on that. And now halfway to that Blink Dagger for his next item of choice. It appears eHome will group up about the bottom lane. Thinking about starting off a fight. Ice Blast will just clear out some creeps, so now they can push this tower and feel a little more safe about it.
Dire's bottom
Ancient
tower
Apparition,
is under
20-minute
attack.
hand to Midas. Not your ideal
Dire's
timing,
are fortified.
but still completes that first core item. 5 heroes of eHome in the bottom lane. IG starting to rotate. Burning as well as Ancient Apparition down here. Who's in the jungle right now? Chuan and Ferrari may just linger back and then relocate in as need be. Double Damage Rune is in the bottle of the Templar Assassin. They're also smoked up. IG will rotate, keep their tower safe at eHome. They back off right away. They don't even really want to take a fight right now, it feels like. So it's unfortunate when you see a team with these team fight items, but they don't really want to force it. Hoping for free towers, and IG are just not going to give that to him. Nearing a 5-figure lead for the Dire side. IG still in complete control. Roshan, we'll see what that timer is looking like here coming up soon, about 15 seconds. Fast Roshan would really benefit IG with Roche control being on the Dire side. They will look to claim the next Aegis for sure. And there's that third BKB. Completed on Ferrari, just waiting for his turn with the Courier. Down bottom, oh, they're baiting with Burning. And bait it is. Storm Spirit falls for it, hook, line, and sinker. 10-second BKB is used, but Burning survives without much of a scratch on him. Uses his God Strength. I don't know if you could really call that a victory for the Storm Spirit. Nicely played there. Burning, caught by the Yules, but Luo's there. Inflame wants to set up the Spirit Bomb, but it's not going to happen. Finger of Death comes out onto Burning and brings him low. Not quite enough for the kill. Buyback onto the Storm, but they've already lost their Sven here. I don't know. Could this work out? Luo now taking a lot of damage from ROTK. Ancient Apparition falls off to the side. They will end the wicked 6 streak. It goes to ROTK. Now Chuan and Ferrari joining the party. 3 for 3. It is a 2v2 on the field. Relocate.
Radiant's bottom tower
On cooldown. Ferrari
attack.
with a double damage rune on.
Dire's
Really
middle
wants to
tower
fight
is
here.
under attack.
Has the Blink Dagger. Might be able to jump onto ROTK. The buyback on the Storm, making it a 4 for 3, but still giving a huge advantage to eHome. Feeling the effects of that rubber band mechanic. Getting somewhat of a net worth gain out of that one. Gem on Chuan. Oh, needs to be a little careful. Okay. Yeah, just clipped by the Chakram. So another one of those awkward fights where IG had the beginning success by picking off the Storm, and then it just turned into this little scuffle where IG had the edge until the Storm bought back, and that's what tipped the scale. So it did end up working out decently for Yang. I think a worthy buyback, and will push him very close to his Bloodstone. Looks like he'll have that Soul Booster completed now and just waiting on that recipe. RTK up to 10 charges on his Bloodstone, 3,000 gold sitting in the bank. We'll see where he wants to go next. I think either BKB or Shiva's will be his next item stop-off. Ferrari completes a Desolator. So I was wrong. Pardon me. That's not a BKB. It's a Deso. Didn't even mouse over it. Going for the damage. Well, we saw what kind of work the Desolator did on Burning last game, so we'll see it on somebody else this go-round. Speak of the Devil, Ferrari relocates mid with Chuan, but right into a trap. And this could be the end of him. Chuan has already gone down. Ferrari will be able to blink back to safety. The gem, where did the gem end up? Looks like they might have left it in the base. Yep, it's on the courier. All right, so Chuan dies, but at least he doesn't lose the gem. That's good.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
ROTK, very far forward here. We'll see a buyback used. Luo deep in enemy territory. ROTK timber chains out, but right into a Berserker's Call. BKB's popped aplenty. The buyback from the Wisp to make this fight happen. Luo off to one side, burning, trying to chase down the Shadow Fiend on the other. We'll focus on this side of the fight as ROTK gets hit by the Ice Blast. He'll go down. Now the Storm Spirit locked in place. He'll fall as well. Looks like Burning was able to find that kill on the Shadow Fiend. Lamb will just try to TP out. And Lion has already done so. It's a 3-0 here in that fight. And IG coming out big. They did have to use the buyback on the Wisp to make that happen. But well worth it there. Especially with Roshan respawned already. No buybacks on the eHome cores. IG will be able to claim this Rosh, and this one should be uncontested. Easy peasy. And they'll have yet another Aegis of the Immortal to play around with. There's your Blink Dagger out on Burning. So he's already able to chase people down, and now with the Blink, there is no way he won't be able to close the gap. Still holding on to the gem. Faith will do a little bit of de-warding also while his team clears out Rosh. This Aegis of the Immortal goes the way of Ferrari. Fight after fight, it's IG coming out ahead, and even though eHome has had some decent skirmishes, whoa, hold that thought is up top, relocate onto Lion. Luo sets that one up and finds another kill. ROTK has a timber chain. Can they lock him down? Berserker's Call. It's not there, but they don't need it. Another 2-0. And just as I was about to make the point, IG seems even if it's a bit of a break, it's either a break even or a victory for them. eHome just can't get any kind of footing in this match, and now they're falling further and further behind. Earthshaker with negative item progression. You got to blink on the Lion, but there's just not much he can do. 1-3-6, can't control this game. Storm still looking for his first core item. Now, this is your safe lane farmer, mind you. Yang had all that space in the safe lane, and it is just backfired. Still without his first core item. Inflame now caught out. Burning gets locked out by the Fissure. Nicely played there by Lamb, and that will keep Inflame alive. You even look at Inflame's inventory, though, and it's not so scary. Mech, Yules, Ogre Club. Where's the damage coming from? You know, you don't really want the Mech and the Yules. It's almost got to be one or the other because neither of them really give you any damage, and now he's going to be forced into a BKB. Your first 3 core items give you 0 damage. I guess BKB gives you a little bit, but nothing too scary. Not compared to this Sven, who is hitting like a Mack truck already. Ferrari doing big damage. eHome just can't kill these heroes fast enough at this point. So IG will just sit back here. They've got the luxury of time. They can force fights if they want. They can sit back and farm. Now past that 12k gold, 15k experience mark. Even Ferrari clearing out enemy Ancients as their Ancient Apparition clears out the Dire Jungle. 1800 gold. Looking towards his Aghanims. Now, here's your first item on Storm, 27-minute Bloodstone. Typically more of your snowball-y kind of item. You know, you want to get it early so you can get those charges going. Use it to get you some momentum to your next core item. That is just dreams, just figments of this Storm's imagination. Tough break for Yang. So IG just lingering around. Force Staff here on the axe. Some extra mobility, clearing out the enemy jungler right now. Just trying to limit the spaces that eHome can farm. Tightening that noose a little bit and just starving them out. They will initiate onto Lamb in the mid lane. Force Staff forward. Uses the Echo Slam. Maybe sets up onto Luo here. He'll be happy just to BKB. Misses the dunk. Compliments of the mech. Requiem on his channel. Does next to nothing. Now relocate from Chuan. Finger comes out, does bring down the Wisp, but it will cost Lion his life. 1 for 1, eHome might be able to take an okay fight here. It is an awkward spot for IG. Yang isolated by himself. Burning gets brought down off to the side as he's isolated. Storm actually manages to TP home. Now Faith just tries to cut his losses. He'll try to make it out. He does.
Radiant's middle tower
Still a 1 for 2, and another good fight for eHome. Luo TP's out from the high ground. IG just need to be a little bit more defensive. It's just like game 1. They picked up a good lead, then just got sloppy with it. That was a 4-figure net worth gain here for eHome. There's just no reason to kind of take these fights where you've got one dive in the base, you've got one chase in the storm, you've got another one locked on the low ground with a relocate somewhere in here. Then you've got burning that way. Everybody just went a different way. It's like IG Delta split and then didn't know what to do with it. And that's where eHome can find pickoffs. They've got a lot of gotcha. You know, you've got Storm who can zip down to chase somebody. Ooh, Luo misses the Berserker's call there. You've got the Timber Saw who can Timber Chain to chase somebody down with his BOTs, rather speedy. And you've got Lion who's got Blink, Hex, Finger. He can chase somebody down as well if you're a little too far forward. So IG just need to be a little more tight. You've got Aegis of the Immortal. You still have a 9-second BKB on your TA. Looks like the Aegis will expire here in less than a minute. All IG need to do is just take a fight that's a little more of a concerted effort, with all 5 working together, focusing on one target with a uniform game plan. Are we diving the base? Are we backing up? But you got to move together. Brothers united, one for all for one. Some of that musketeer shit, you got to channel it. You got to believe it. You can't just run in there all willy-nilly and expect this Sven to do the damage by himself. He needs the backup of the Wisp. Without the Wisp, this Sven is a lot less scary. BKB down to 6 seconds here for burning. See what his next item of choice is. I think just raw damage at this point.
Bottom tower
You could look for something like a Mjolnir. The buff, the static charge is great on that hero. We'll hold that thought, though, as Inflame initiated on again. Chuan, victim of the finger, will go down to the Requiem. A 1-for-1 as they trade Wisp for Shadow Fiend. eHome, they look to take a fight here. BKB's popped. Luo will try to scoot away, and Ferrari will just hide in the trees in Meld Strike. eHome walking on by. They do have a dust. Observer ward comes down. Ferrari wants a kill onto Lion. Reveals himself, gets dusted. Luo's nearby. Will have a Blink Berserker's call. Connects just on Lamb. Ferrari hits him with a Meld Strike. Sets up for the Slam Dunkarino. And it's another kill. Ends that fight now a 1-for-2. This Lion has been playing well. Anytime Chuan relocates in, just fingers that Wisp. I'm not sure where it goes, but it hurts. Not so sure the comeback is real here for eHome. This really feels more like IG just messing around a little bit, playing sloppy rather than eHome really starting to take control of this game. They still have a lot of problems. IG are still farming so much more effectively, working many quadrants of the map. The vision is very telling here. You look at the dire vision, you've got one in the jungle, one on the plateau here about to expire, then one on this little high ground spot. Look at Radiant Vision. They've got 2 wards down. Right there, okay, that one's going to get taken out by the gem. Then you got this little guy. Not really giving you a lot of intel at this stage of the game. That gem is making things very difficult, and this is about the quadrant of the map that they're comfortable on, something like that. They've got a hard camp to work with, maybe the medium camp if they're feeling ballsy. Outside of that, it's just keeping these tier 2 towers safe. So IG don't really have to play tight right now. They can afford to throw a couple unnecessary deaths away and have a little bit of fun with it. Luo with a Perseverance, 2,800 gold. Refresher or Lincoln's on the way for him. Could be either, depending on how much fun he wants to have. Inflame, whoa, daddy. Berserker's call will be off the mark. Compliments to the Yules, but relocate is there. Burning, BKBs. Will just go straight onto the Lion. Mech buys him a little bit of time, but chop, chop, chop. Burning, gonna cut down Inflame through his BKB. The Death Requiem, not enough for anything. ROTK misses his Timber Chain across and now might have to pay for it. Caught by a Berserker's call. Ice Blast will fly in. Does connect on ROTK. Meanwhile, on the high ground, Yang doing some work. Gets the kill on the TA. Ends a big streak there. Looks like this Bloodstone doing some good stuff here for the Storm Spirit. They'll get a kill on the Ancient Apparition also. Another one of these sloppy fights for IG. Chuan relocated back, and Burning and Luo just go for neutrals. Looks like it will be a refresher for Luo, but a 2-for-2. Less than ideal, and giving eHome again a great net worth trade. About an 1,800 gain. I don't know. This game's not unthrowable, IG. Or is it? I don't know. No, I think the big problem is the farm, as we talked about. They still have the huge farm coming. Sven, he's just going to go straight hard at Taras, so now Burning. He's a big boy. He's had some mutton, beefed up a little bit. He'll be harder to bring down. And Axe will go Refresher. Okay. Oh, the Refresher Axe is cute. Double Berserker's Call. Double Calling Blade. Double BKB. Wowza. Pretty solid. eHome doing a surprising amount of damage in these team fights. BKB now coming out for the Storm Spirit. They have taken the gem, now the inventory of the Earthshaker.
Are fortified.
So map control
Dire's
will
bottom
start
tower
to
is under
slip
attack.
away from IG a little bit here. At least they're very aggressive wards. Looks like most of them have been taken out, just this guy lingering
Dire's
about.
bottom tower has
But
been
soon to
denied.
expire. It is a very long Roche respawn. Just about close to your max timer there. A couple seconds short. IG will have to be a little bit patient on that front, but I think they will wait for it before they do anything too crazy. Ferrari going for the damage build here, goes straight into Daedalus as Luo initiates onto ROTK. BKB's used, ROTK should shatter here, and he does. On the other side, Lion caught out by Burning. That'll make it a 2-0. Nice set of picks there for IG. They just have so much initiation power. Relocate, 3 Blink Daggers. You just have to sit so far back. And now Ancient Apparition, just about at that Aghanim Scepter, 200 gold away. And Faith will have that prized pickup. Burning already at almost 3k gold since he picked up that Heart of Trask. Feels like he just picked it up moments ago. Now a smoke from IG as they move about the map. Looking to catch one more from eHome perhaps. With Roche around the corner, this is the time to take a fight. Luo leading the charge, but eHome with good positioning here. They ping out Roshan. They've got a trap in the pit. They know it's got to be coming up any second here as Ferrari clears out the Ancients once more. And Inflame heads back to safety. Oy. Oy, 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 this Shadow Fiend still just out-farmed so hard. 13k net worth compared to the 20 of TA, 18 on Sven, even 15 on the Axe. He just does nothing. Nothing at all. ROTK down to 6 Bloodstone charges. Has his Shiva's Guard with his BOTs, and now it looks like Halberd maybe coming out for him. Not a bad choice here. BKB is starting to run low on duration, so if you can get a disarm off on the TA or the Sven, it's a pretty key item pickup. Sven probably just looking towards that Assault Cross, though. Hyperstone now is next item. Could also be the Mjolnir. I mentioned that earlier. It's a pretty good item on the Sven. The static charge buff, pretty damn solid. Roche goes down. This is Roche 3. That's an Aegis on to 430, and Cheese will get picked up by Luo. Big Roshan, that's the 3rd Roche of 3 to go the way of IG. 430 getting plenty of Aegises. Agi, what is the plural of Aegis? AG? 3,600 gold on 430 also. There's your Aghanims. Ancient Apparition. Faith doing the tried and true classic Hand of Midas into Ags. 37 minutes, a little bit later than ideal, but I think something he'll be able to stomach. Shoots a snowball up top to try and clear out this little creep wave, pressuring the tower.
Radiant's middle
and
tower
sets it up for a deny for Luo. There you go.
Has been denied.
A very odd game this has turned out to be. 29-19, IG still massively in control, nearing 20k golden experience lead. They're in great shape, but in absolutely no hurry to end it. With Aegis and Cheese, I think they will look to take a fight to at least use this Aegis. They still have a lot of time, 5 minutes on it. Mech coming out for Chuan, and is that a completed mech? It sure is. Also a completed Assault Karas. Huge items here. Inflame gets caught in the mid lane. Luo refreshes, and we'll have another dunk. Berserker's Call, BKB available. Your ideal hero to lock down in a situation like that. No buyback on the Shadow Fiend. Dead for about 60 seconds. These 2 huge items coming out. This could be a death push coming. I don't think eHome are ready for this one.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
All right, eHome, this is your defense. Here we go. Yang hops out, starts it off onto Ferrari. Remember, 430 has the Aegis here. He'll start chewing through this tier 3 tower in the front lines, gets stunned up by the Lion. Glyph still standing. Now Luo jumps in onto the Storm Spirit. They'll bring him down quick. Slam Dunkaroo. He's dead. No buyback on the Storm. 30 seconds of a 5v3 on the field. All they have is the Glyph. They don't use it at the ideal time. Huge dunk from Lamb, but is it actually enough? Luo will fall in the end. And at what cost? Lion will be the first casualty. ROTK still alive. Throws out a Chakram. Clips 430, but now the Barracks without a Glyph will start taking a lot of damage. Buyback from the Lion. Has a finger. Burns it on a refraction charge. Less than ideal. Ferrari still alive for now. Goes into the meld strike. Brings down the Earthshaker before he falls. Aegis will bring him back to life, but the Storm as well as the Shadow Fiend have respawned. 430 in a lot of trouble. Will get left behind. Tries to BKB to make his retreat. Does some damage to ROTK on his way out, but he's been left high and dry. Storm already outside of the base. Duking it out with the rest of IG. TA goes down. BKB about to expire. Can he get this kill onto Faith? Chuan, Mech trying to do everything he can to save Faith. Now the stun from Burning. They're on the Great Escape here. Can Faith make it out? ROTK low on mana, but still has enough to Timber Chain across. Faith should be going down here. The long range zip, and he dies. What a hold from Team eHome. A buyback from the Lion. Well worth it as they get about a 3K net worth gain out of that one. Pretty damn good. You get a little sloppy. They get a tier 3 tower. They burn a Glyph, but they do not finish off the Barracks. Okay. All right, a sign of life. Storm getting a little bit out of that. 9 Bloodstone charges now. 1,500 gold sitting in the bank. Shadow Fiend, what's he got? An ultimate orb here. Probably the Eye of Scotty on the horizon. Again, though, you know, you look at that fight and it's, yeah, IG don't really come out big, but they don't really come out that bad either. They still got an objective. They still force out the Glyph. They use their Aegis. And it's just a little bump in the net worth chart. They still get to farm like crazy. Burning with 2,700 gold. And again, another one of these fights where you've got the Storm Spirit duking out with the Burning back here, and then you've got Ferrari down here. If that's more of a consolidated effort where IG have all of their resources in one place, that maybe turns into a different exchange. Luo has himself a cheese. It looks like his refresher will be coming back here. But eHome are hanging in there. They've got 2 tier 2 towers still standing. And this Timbersaw, he's moving into the Aghanims, it looks like. 3,500 gold, more than enough to pick it up. I think ROTK wants to make sure he holds for buyback at this stage. But Aghanims, one of the items that allows the Timbersaw to transcend towards that late game a little bit and buff up that damage output just a little bit more. I think a fine item pickup at this stage of the game. Anything that they can to chew through the refraction.
Over here now.
Oh.
I'm over here.
Zap.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Just playing with him. More passivity. IG will go back to farming. Do they even wait out the next Roche here?
Pudding pop.
I think they well could. I don't know that IG absolutely have to. They could try something a little more aggressive now with this MKB out on the TA. Huge damage and also preemptively ready to deal with the butterfly that'll come out onto the Shadow Fiend if this game goes on long enough. I guess the halberd on the Timbersaw also helps. I don't know, you buy an MKB just to counter that, but big damage output from your Templar Assassin now. IG could try a smoke rotation or something, move around and just try and gank one. If they can catch somebody without buyback, put them in the grave, they can easily clear out these tier 2 towers and just chip at the base. That's the thing about this. You've got a TA with a Desolator. You don't have to go all in with the push. You can just do some chip damage. If you know they don't have a Glyph, just get that Desolator debuff going and do some damage. ROTK jumped on by Burning. Look at that attack speed from this Rogue Knight. ROTK will try to TP home. Ooh, a close call, but with that extra armor, he just barely lives. My, oh my. Heaven's Halberd helping him out there as well. A noble effort. Oh, here we go. Set up on the Inflame. Luo jumps in. Ferrari to follow up. Refresher even used for the double Berserker's call. Now they go in on the Storm Spirit. He'll BKB, try and zip away. Burning hops in also. Gets hexed up. Finger again on the Wisp. 1 for 1. Now Luo on the retreat. Radiant's Courier also falls without any cargo. Luo eats the cheese. They might be able to continue on with this fight. Ferrari still with a lot of HP, turned into a little fishy. Bloop, 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 bloop. He goes back into TA form, burning in the front lines. Has a BKB in 5 seconds. Lamb with a big dunk, but it's just not enough damage. Lion goes down, zip up to the high ground, and the Storm Spirit will live. Shaker gets left behind, and now all of a sudden, it's a 4v2. No buybacks available on the heroes dead, and IG may have actually just tightened the noose enough to find themselves in a very advantageous position. ROTK will stay alive and hold the high ground for now. IG with no creep equilibrium, can't pressure this tier 2 tower in the mid for a kill. Maybe could take it down through backdoor protection, but there is also a glyph. They will just linger nearby and look to jump on anyone foolish enough to venture out of the base. Dire also get a ward down on the high ground as they rotate through. Let's take a look at the graph, and yep, just a little bit more momentum going their way. Oh, look at this. IG with the wraparound, grabbing him from behind. Storm Spirit, he wasn't ready for that one. His pants around his ankles, and he will get caught with the peanut butter jar open. Eek. That's unfortunate. Getting picked apart here as IG have really cranked up the momentum. Timbersaw will TP out. He's got his Aghanim Scepter now. Now this tier 2 in the top lane will fall victim to Invictus Gaming. Creeps on the way. Another pretty late Roche respawn, just about 60 seconds or so. Closer to that max respawn timer. IG may go for it after they finish off this outer tower here.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Tier 2 mid, pretty low. Maybe they can just swing by and finish it off. This next Roche, though, this is scary.
Radiant structures.
This will be the 4th Roshan going the way of IG if eHome can't contest it, and I just don't think there's any way they could easily do it. They may try it, but it will be a potential final stand. Scotty is now up on the Shadow Fiend, and a full Abyssal Blade comes out onto Burning. Look at this. Huge attack speed now. Huge damage when he pops the God's Strength, and aside from just being a Bash Lord with all that attack speed, plus the overcharge when he's not BKB, now you've got a huge stun for anyone that's been elusive. Luo jumps in onto Inflame again. The Shadow Fiend, the target of choice. Yules will keep him safe for now, but for how long? Not long enough to live. Down he goes, a pitiful death requiem as he's stuck in the grave for 80 seconds. Lamb comes out, Finger with the dunk. They bring down the Wisp to make it 1 for 1, but at what cost comes to mind? They lose Timbersaw as well as the Earthshaker there. Looks like Lion may suffer a similar fate. Ghost Scepter buys him a few seconds, but just seconds they are. A 1 for 4 as Yang zips back to the well, and now Barracks will be available for IG's taking. There is a glyph not available. Buyback from ROTK. Still a 4v3 on the field, and this is just look it over. I think IG have finally done it. Could be your final hold as he zips out of the base. Luo catches him. Berserker's Call is there. Refresh. Berserker's Call times 2. Now ROTK locked in place, giving him the old Jigglypuff double slap times 2 as well. Slapping him down as the GG is forced out. eHome go down 2-0 against IG in our opening best-of-2 series. Invictus Gaming finding some vengeance after falling to them in the Summit qualifiers in Phase 2. Well, can't say it was a perfect showing from IG. Definitely a couple of sloppy plays there. Got a little cocky at a few points, but overall solid execution. Good drafting, and, well, we got to see a Wisp Sven. That's not something you see too often, but always fun. Luo with an incredible game, 12-3 and 18. Controlled the game with an 8-minute Blink Dagger, and basically once he picked up the Blink, it just never stopped. With that, folks, we'll be having a break, and then our second best of 2 coming up today. It was a schedule change. It will be HGT versus Newbie.